Yeah, you guys can sit down if you want. I will tell you.
Real quick before you guys all start, never mind. Disregard, keep going.
My name's Hans, if you don't know me. I work at Desert Gym
Since I
Camp.
have the mic over here, we're going to move a little closer that way. Not too far, just enough so that
He's never going to tell you, everything that he knows. He's going to he has left.
Test.
You guys hear me better? A little bit? Okay, my name is Nielsen. I'm the head coach of the Trampoline program for this podcast. I also work with gymnastics as the regional chair. I work with the JO program committee chair and the scholarship committee chair. I've had athletes on all national teams, so Jumpstart, ODP, junior national team, national team, and I've worked in development of the junior national team program and the JO national team. So today we're going to be going over trampoline stuff. We're going to start with bounces. So when they go on the trampoline arms to be by our ears, we use the full middle. And we're looking for a straight body line from their ankle, hip, shoulder, and then wrist. Put their head up. They can use their eyes to look on the trampoline. Make sure the hip is flat and they're not deviating forwards or backwards. And you can use the back to the center a little bit. Alright, stop. Now, in preparation for flipping skills, they'll bounce opposite. So the arms will start up. So they'll start up. And as they jump, their arms go down and then land back on the trampoline with their arms up.
Stand up, come up. Got it? You guys can go as fast as you can do that. They get started. They are moving. They're actively doing something.
Yes, I'm looking again for that straight line position. And stop. Okay, you got it rhythm. So start here. Then jump and it's down and up. So she's got to be faster.
Alright, guys, this time after your forward roll up, you're going to come over on this side. Jump up. Straddle your ball stick. Get back in the line. Can you do it?
See, and she'll start going a little bit faster so she doesn't have to really stop.
Understand what you're doing. You're going to get in a groove. I'm going to run
And
over.
one more time.
And I'm going to grab another mat. Now I'm going to say, hey, you guys,
Don't stop. Very nice. Okay, that is very difficult because it's working opposite of what they want to do. Normally when they're bouncing the trampoline, the arms are going to want to be down to the trampoline and swinging up to the top.
The only thing with this, it can get a little chaotic.
So position jumps. Position jumps are very important because they not only show the athletes the positions that they're going to be doing while flipping, but also it teaches them how to change positions. So if they're working on different positions, sometimes they struggle with change of positions, like with the kid picking their toes up to the bar and starting the hips up flat again to get up on top. So
Just zigzag so there's no way to get hit. That makes sense. The
Yes. And then arms going to start by the ears, and he's going to do 2 bounces, and then go into tuck and land with the arms by the sides. Arms are going to want to be tightened to the sides as she's landing so she can show control. Now Betty, 2 bounces, and then she'll be 5. So bounce with your arms up, touch the toes, press the arms to the side. Very good. Now, showing control over this, you can do way more repetition here than you can on different events. So say we take a minute on here, we can do 10, 15 repetitions. We're on another event, it might be 2 or 3 per minute. Okay, so she'll be 3 more questions. And you'll look, she's reaching past her toes and then arms pressing to the sides. Okay. Now we're going to move into twisting. In trampoline, everything is taught with a half a twist or a quarter of a flip. So everything can be broken down. So if an athlete ever gets into trouble, they can always go back to the stages before and build themselves back up. So to start twisting, arms are going to start by your ears. 2 jumps, half twist, press your arms to your sides, maybe. Good. And you'll see she's stuck her head down a little bit, so her chest went forward, which threw her off balance. We want to look for the head to stay straight, and the arms are going to come directly down to the sides. Try one more time. Very good. Now full twist is going to be very similar. Arms are going to start to the ears. As she begins to twist, arms are going to come directly down to the sides. We want to kind of land with your arms at her sides out of the full twist. Okay, so she was a little bit fast with the arms, and the quicker she brings down her arms, the faster she's going to swing. So let's bring your arms up a little bit, slower this time, and then turn your toes as you begin the twist. And she'll have a little bit more control as she starts to think about using her lower body. Her body will be twisting at the same rate, but if she's thinking about using her lower body, her toes to spin, she'll be able to stay a little bit more on balance. Very good, Michael. All right, the first flipping skill on trampoline is actually a C jump, because they're flipping 1/4 of a flip, bringing their feet up in front of her. So Betty's going to reach her arms up to the ceiling, and then hands are going to go down to the seat. Very good. Now, I want you to sit down. When you're going for a C drop, hands should be by your hip, with your chest up and head looking straight. So if the athletes are having trouble getting to their seat position, they can just start in seat position with little bounces. This is especially useful for younger kids when they don't understand or they want to jump to cross legs, which is very common. All right, so we're starting with 1/4 of a flip, and every step we add a half of a twist. Let me see, C drop, half twist to the feet. Yes. Now in your C drop, reach your hands all the way up to your ears before the hands go down. So start up and reach up, and then hands down for your C drop, and hands up for your half twist. Hands up and twist. And again, we want to see her. Very nice. Again, we want to see her twisting through her feet. So as she comes up, she's going to twist through her toes towards the top. Now the next skill would be seat after seat or swivel hips. And swivel hips can be a little bit challenging, but it leads into other skills like a cruise, stomach turn stomach. And so for seat turn seat, we're first going to start with half turn to seat drop. Yes, when she's doing half turn to seat drop, we want to see her reach up and then turn to her seat drop. So try one more time. Very good. And you'll see she's beginning to flip a little bit before she begins the twist. We always want to see flipping before twisting on all ends. All right, now let's see seat turn seat or swivel hips. Seat, hands up, turn to seat. Yep, just one time. And let's see again. This time, reaching your arms arms up in between. You forgot the seat. Very nice. This is a lot of stuff we're adding to go over, even though we just did the Tuesday. Okay, so now you're gonna go seat, hands up, turn seat with the new roll noodle. Do you remember this one? Where you have the roll noodle on one side, you go seat, hands up, turn seat. Yeah? Alright, let's get that one tried. Seat, hands up, switch, and turn seat. What we're looking for in this one is that she's switching over the top and her hips are flat as she's twisting. And that will directly translate into other flipping and twisting skills. Alright, after seat turn seat, we're going to go to the different positions of drop. So doggy drop will be the first one. So show me hands and knees. So we're looking for equal pressure and neutral. We're looking for equal pressure on your hands and your knees. Okay, hands can be underneath the shoulders. They can be too close together or too far apart. Okay, and for this, the athletes can go from seat drop, doggy drop, and then into a stomach drop. A lot of the time, it's good to just get them comfortable while in the doggy position because they may just bounce on their knees. Let's see if we're bouncing on their knees. Just on your knees. We'll see a lot of this. Or go hands or knees to hands again. Or a lot of this. Okay, we want equal pressure on the hands and knees. Okay, we never really want to just bounce on the hands on the trampoline. It's very dangerous. So to help with that, you can put them out of the trampoline to stop the bounce, or just put them in doggy drop. So just go to doggy, and then just bounce like that. And working on just getting the pressure equal on the hands and knees at the same time. Okay, once they're comfortable with doggy drop, you want to introduce them to stomach drop and back drop. So lay your stomach way. Hands are going to be in front of you in a diamond shape. Knees are going to be bent. Head in a neutral position. You go forward or down. This is where you want the athletes to land on their stomach. Okay, a lot of the times the athletes will land with straight legs and hands right here. This is a very dangerous position, especially with the arms here and the shoulders. That's why we want the hands in front. So do it very nice. Okay, and then back drop. Lay your back. Feet up. Your toes. Arms can be by the ears or in front of the eyes. Further back drop. We want the feet pointing straight up so when they come off their back, they can push up forward and stand up. Okay, back drop and stomach drop can be done on resin mat, practice off the trampoline, use the side stations, so the athletes are introduced to them before they add the actual bouncing element of the trampoline. So let's put a couple of those things together. Let's go seat, doggy, tummy, feet. Forgot tummy. Seat, doggy, tummy, feet. Here, you come and talk for me, I'll do it.
Landing on their stomach and their feet, they need to make sure equal pressure is on both their hands and knees at the same time. Doggy, tummy, feet. Doggy, tummy. Keep this way. Okay, after the seat, doggy, then we would be. Oh, you're so close. Okay, and then after seat, doggy, they can go seat, tummy. Because seat, tummy would actually be adding a half of a flip. So seat drop and stomach drop, they're moving all the way to our full range of motion, so it's actually half a flip. So now show me seat, tummy. Okay, we're looking for any transition, forwards or backwards, is that body is opening up to a straight body shape. So if they want to back, they're opening to a straight body shape. Coming seat drop, stomach drop, opening your legs in a straight body, coming from the seat to tummy. Seat, tummy. going from feet to stomach drop. Feet to stomach is a little bit challenging because a lot of the times they like to dive forward to their stomach drop. So we'll have them start in the center, arms by their ears, and just jump their feet backwards and put their belly button right here on the cross. So jump your feet back, belly button on the cross. Good. She jumped a little bit far back. They might have jumped that far back. Belly button on the cross. Very good. Now, as they push off their stomach, and lay your stomach again. As they push off their stomach, want their hands here and feet up again. As they push off their stomach, they're going to throw their feet down while they're pushing on their hands at the same time. And the arms are going to push straight to their ears as they come up. Okay, so show me stomach drop, up to feet, throwing the legs down. So stomach, push here, hands up, stand up. Push. Very good with the arms. You forgot the legs though. Okay? Remember to push those legs straight as you come up. Legs straight. Oh, they were still straight. So you'll notice she's trying hard with the arms, which is awesome, but she's forgetting the legs. And that's very, very common. When they go to add one thing, the other thing they'll forget about. And then they'll go to do the other thing and then they'll forget about the other thing. Putting them together is challenging, so you need something very patient. Okay, now the next one is back drop. So we're gonna start.
Quick question about the stomach drop. So oftentimes if I see people do really high standing to stomach drop, they'll go stand, hike, stomach. What is that?
So if we go back to the seat drop stomach drop, what happens if they're hiking?
It's fast rotation.
They wanted quicker rotation. So something happened at takeoff that made them feel like they were off balance. So you need to make sure that takeoff is more situated and maybe a little bit less flipping so they don't have to toss themselves out using the bike.
Okay, because I see like bike way.
And that could be to just stall out. So anytime there's a deviation in body space, it's to balance check. Okay, that's a really good question because sometimes we just work a little more. But so what we do for that athlete is lower their height and say, hey, show me with a straight body if you go lower into that stomach drop. Okay, so now back drop. To start back drop, after they've just feet up. Now, the first thing I do is make sure they're comfortable bouncing on their back. So grab my hand. And sometimes I'll just bounce them like this. Okay? Their hands are going to go out, their feet are going to go up. Okay? So they're bouncing, and then hold on. And then we'll come up to feet. See it? Okay? As they're bouncing like that, that's the way their feet and arms should move as they're going on and off their back. And their feet should throw forward, and then they'll be able to stand up. Okay? Now, to go to back, depending on what level you have, it can be a little bit challenging. And I've seen people like try to have them like step off one foot and go to their back or things like that, but that is hard to fix later. So we want to make sure that their athletes are always on 2 feet. And the easiest way is if they're too afraid to fall their back on track, out and fall somewhere else. So put them on a squishy mat or even into the pit for the young ones. Get used to them falling over with a straight body. Bringing the feet up after that is pretty easy. Okay, but that fall with the straight body, so you'll see Maddie's falling with the straight body here. Okay, and we don't want the feet lifting until they get closer. So all the way over. So now let me see one with one tiny bounce. Tiny bounce and back drop. Okay, and see she's even a little bit hesitant to bring her feet up too much because she doesn't want them coming all the way over to her face. So arms by your ears a little bit more. Now one tiny jump and then back drop. Good. And back drop is a backwards flipping skill, so we do want the back drop to go backwards just a little bit. And I'm not talking about traveling across the trampoline, just backwards about 2 inches. What we don't want is back drop going forward. Can you do a back drop pushing forward? Or do you want me to show that? You got it? Good. Now see, she jumped up and then she had to check her balance a little bit more because that's an uncomfortable way to flip. You're moving forwards while you're trying to flip backwards. Okay, now do a back drop going backwards a little bit, just like that, and she's moving backwards a little bit as she's flipping backwards. Now we don't need that much rotation. Yeah. So, as far as them feeling comfortable, that doesn't make a difference. As far as them moving on and progressing, yeah, we want their legs straight. So we want the toes pointing to the ceiling. So lean your back again.
and we want the toes pointing to the ceiling here so that all of their energy can come out of the trampoline and start to push up this way. Okay? The moment the legs bend, that's another area for the energy of the trampoline to go down this way. Okay? So we want those legs straight so she can push all of her energy straight up. Alright, so we're adding another order, or actually we can start twisting from your back and stomach. So twisting from back and stomach, we're going to add again 1/2 of a twist. So do you want to go half turn to stomach first or half turn to back first? Half turn to stomach. So the best way for half turn to stomach actually is to teach it off the trampoline with them falling. So they would go, I'm going to use this mat. Is this soft enough? So they would go off on a mat like this, they would start falling, and you can do this on the trampoline if you have like a pit pillow or a throw mat or something. They would fall, turn, and go to their stomach. And what we're looking for is falling, turning through their feet, hands out, and then landing hands here. Okay? Getting the hands here is going to be very challenging when they first start. So we want turn, fall, turn, hands out, and then in. Okay, and then you can do the same thing with half turn to back. So let's try half turn to back over here. So she's going to fall forward, turn, and then feet up. The feet up, just like the hands for the stomach drop, is going to be the challenging part. But see, we're adding the half twist. So which one do you want to do first? Half turn to stomach or half turn to back? Half turn to back. Okay, so half turn to back on the trampoline, it can be a little bit intimidating sometimes when you just have a child start with, or teenager, start with half turn to back. Because it's very easy for them to flip more than they should. So for half turn to back, usually I'll say seat drop, half turn to back. Remember this one? Okay, let me see. Seat drop, half turn to back. So we're breaking it back down before we go and do the actual skill. Okay, now let's try again. Make sure you reach your arms all the way up before you do the turn. See, hands all the way up, turn. Okay, and see, she wanted to bring her knees in because she didn't quite have enough rotation. And so, half turn to back, we would do that before because she's lower to the trampoline and we have more control. Okay, then we would move on to starting from stand. Fall forwards, half turn to back. Good. And lift your feet up as you land. Fall forward, turn, lift your feet up. Good, take them off. And then from bouncing, we would swing the arms up, look forward, turn, and then go to the back. Okay, now half turn to tummy. So again, we would start from a stand, and we can do this one from seat drop also. So we could go seat drop, half turn to tummy. You want to try that one, or is that too hard? You want to try it? All right. So we can do this one from seat drop also. So go seat drop, reach up. Oh, you went forwards, you got to go backwards. Half turn to tummy, backwards. Seat drop, half turn. So one time, half turn. Ah! See, that one's hard. So this one, that one's difficult to do. Actually, that one's really good. You're right. But it forces them to get their feet up and show that they need to initiate flipping rotation before they twist. So anytime we can put an athlete in a position that forces them in the correct place, that's what we want to do, because then we have to do less work and using words being like, no, that wasn't right. No, try this. No, try this. Let's try this. Let's try this. And so this way they'll be forced to go in the right shape. Okay, now let's try for standing, falling, half turn, tummy. Good job. She did a really good job of getting her hands in front of her and landing with bent knees. Okay, and because we saw that, now we can add a tiny bounce, so very small bounce. And half turn to tummy. You got it. Half turn to tummy, small bounce, half turn. Backwards. Yes, good job. And see that one, they'll want to jump backwards a little bit. Want to make sure that we don't let them go too high at the beginning because they're building their height as they get more comfortable and as you as a coach get more confident in what they can do. Okay? We are doggy tummy, we're going to go seat doggy forward roll. And the forward roll is the first time the athletes will be going over their head. So I'll go seat, hands and knees, roll over, and I want to see them grabbing the front of their legs. So do it at just that speed again, and then you're going to grab the front of your legs down here, towards the ankle. Seat, hands and knees, roll over. You have to grab a little bit lower, Manny. We're looking down by the ankles. As they get more confident, they may grab a little bit higher. But when they're learning, grab by the ankles, knees to be slightly apart. Seat, hands and knees, roll over, and that's perfect. That's what we want to see when they're first learning their seat doggy forward roll. The chin is tucked down, they're getting into a nice tight tuck. Now let's add a little bit of height. Seat doggy front tuck. Good job. And that's what pretty much what they're going to look like. What we're looking at when we're doing this is, oh, that was even better. It's just the same as that doggy position we did earlier, with them using their hands and knees at the same time. And a lot of the times, they'll want to only use their knees. And so the flipping is going to be very consistent. Okay? And after seat doggy front tuck, we can go and start adding twists. So let's go seat doggy front tuck, land, jump, half turn. Very good. And then seat doggy front tuck, land, jump, full turn. And full turn. So we're still doing the same thing. We're just preparing her what can come, has the possibility to come in the future. That doesn't mean it has to come right now, but then they can start understanding that that flipping happens first. So when they move on to more difficult skills, you're not maintaining what they're doing. All right, now moving on backwards. So we're moving to backwards flipping. They're going to start with backwards, back drop, and then backward roll. Back pull over. Yeah. So they'll start in front, and usually we'll have a mat on here, and we'll go right here. Fall backwards, and then roll over the top. We want the hands at the head, preparing to push, and we don't want much bounce when they start. So even less bounce, just go backward roll. Even less bounce. You can do it. Roll, very good. Okay, so we're looking for almost no bounce and the athlete showing complete control. If they can't do a backward roll on the floor, don't have them do it on tramp. Okay, so we want the backward roll shown on floor first. After they do that, they can do it on tramp. When they can do that, then they can move from falling. So the arms will start by the ears, and they'll fall to the backward roll. Well, no bouncing yet. See, she likes these. Fall to the back, then backward roll. And again, we're looking for hands here in case they feel uncomfortable, but they're staying in that tight position as they roll. Okay, then do here. After that, then we can start adding a little bit of height. And again, this is not where we want to add too much height to what they're doing, just little by little. Okay, so hands up, 1 or 2 bounces, and then take your toes up, back up forward. Very nice. Now, the same thing as going forwards, we can start adding half of a twist. So backdrop, pull over, land, jump, half turn. Good. And backdrop, pull over, land, jump, full turn. Okay. Now, these things right here that this one through can take athletes all the way through multiple twisting doubles. Okay, these same basic principles. The main things we're focused on is we're flipping before twisting. So no matter how little flip is happening, the flip is always happening first. Okay? Sure. See, that's a request. But does anybody else have any questions? There's that. No questions at all? Kevin had a good one earlier. About the nobody with anything else?
I have a question. Just from like a competitor's standpoint, I know you're supposed to stay in the middle. What happens when you don't? Like, what are the deductions?
So if you don't stay in the middle, okay, so right here is 0, 1, 2, 3, 2.
Okay.
So those different squares are different things.
And then one last thing, I don't know if that's comes around. guys cover how to stop?
How to stop? Hey, Maddie, do your bounces and stop your bounces.
Yeah, like kill the bounce like in.
And stop. We want to make sure that the athletes are sucking up the trampoline. So if they go down, they're pushing the trampoline a little bit and then sucking it up with their legs. Okay, and just showing control. Ready, try stopping again. Stop. Well, I can do more. Because this is for gymnastics, depending on if it is a kid that's in your class, if they put their left foot in front for a cartwheel, then they twist to the left, because that means their cartwheel is actually twisting to the right. So they'd be twisting the opposite way. What we want to avoid is athletes twisting the same way on their cartwheel or round off that they do in the air. Otherwise it gets very confusing. And we want twisting forwards the same way as going backwards. So if Maddie does half turn to stomach, you have to stomach. Think of it again. Fall backwards, half turn. Okay? And then half turn to back, fall forward, and then turn your back. We want both of those going the same direction. Okay, so everything moving backwards going one direction, everything going forwards going the same direction as it did going backwards. Anybody else? All right, that's it. Thank you all.